$42 million project launched to address Barcode Dumpsite challenges. Witness says former President Yahya Jammeh does not respect the law. U.S. President commemorates 500,000 lives lost to COVID-19 and describes it as truly heartbreaking. And the World Health Organization shows displeasure in the manner developed countries are undermining COVID-19 vaccines distribution process. This and more coming on The World Today. Good evening, you're watching The World Today News Bulletin with me, Abdullah Sise, and thank you for joining us. The SOS Village Children's Village, in collaboration with its international partners and the Kanifing Municipal Council, today launched a $42 million project called Sustainable Waste Management for the reduction of child rights violation at the Barcode Dumpsite. The project is geared towards protecting children and families from the hazardous impact of the dump site. More details in this report.
A welcoming performance displayed by the SOS school children depicts the lives of children who frequently visit the dump site in search of leftover foods and trash materials. Barcode dump site has been a major health risk and hazardous environmental challenges over the years. It is situated between three densely populated communities of Barcode, Dipakunda and Manjaikunda. There has been a public outcry for years, and residents in the area have sought for the relocation of the dump site. With the launching of the $42 million project, at least 200 families, 1,000 children and 50 youths are expected to benefit from it. In order to complement the efforts of various partners, the Lord Mayor of KMC, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, plans to contribute $4 million from KMC's development budget to fast-track the implementation of the structural facilities to be constructed.
The Barcode Dumpsite remains the largest challenge facing the Kanifing Municipal Council. I firmly believe that this collaboration with SOS Children's Villages will enhance the management of the Barcode Dumpsite in order to improve the lives of the people of Barcode, Dipakunda, Manjaikunda, and the surrounding communities. KMC is grateful to SOS Children's Villages for their cooperation on this important initiative. I know that this project will further strengthen our partnership, and as we work towards achieving the project goal of an enhanced protection of health, environment, and economic violations of children's rights in the neighborhoods of the Barcode Dumpsite. Our initial discussions for the project focus on creating a green zone along the highway and having evolved into the current project, which takes the comprehensive approach to upgrading the management of the Barcode Dumpsite.
The dump site is not only a threat to the inhabitants, but it greatly affects school-going children around the area and patients visiting the SOS health facility. Mariatu Sala, the National Director of the SOS Children's Village in the Gambia, gives an overview of the orphanage since its inception in 1982.
SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, advocates for the rights of children and believes that a child's development is best achieved in a conducive environment. Assuring the well-being of children, we support caring parents and caregivers. This is achieved through cooperation and advocacy involving communities, authorities, and various partners. Mr. Chairperson and invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, commenced its operations in this country in 1982 with the establishment of the Barcode Children's Village.
Flying around the dump site can be disturbing with the presence of trash materials and toxic smoke, which is detrimental to the environment and the human system. Children are often seen picking waste from the dump site, which exposes them to great danger. As the project partially addresses concerns on child's right violations at the dump site, Kani Sow, the SOS Children representative, is delightful of the benefits of the project.
We are very happy and thankful that the BMZ Barcode Dumpsite project has come to reduce child rights violation at Barcode Dumpsite. We are very happy that the SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, is working closely in partnership with the KMC to advocate for child's rights and child safeguarding within this project. We are the future of this country and the inheritors of the world. We have the right to health. We have the right to life, good health, clean water, play, and sustainable livelihood.
The project is expected to last for 2 months, and some components of the project include construction of 2 roads in the dump site, capacity building, family strengthening, among others. The project is jointly funded by the German Corporation, SOS National and International, and the Kanifing Municipal Council. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
A $42 million project launched to address the toxic conditions of the Barcode Dumpsite against children and the surroundings. Now to Guinea-Conakry now, where the country is experiencing a resurgence of the Ebola outbreak, signaling alert for sub-regional countries to tighten measures to avert another outbreak. Meanwhile, Gambian authorities say the country would revive measures put in place some years ago to prevent the strike of the disease. More details in this report by Ndai Sise.
The Ebola outbreak that ravaged West Africa from 2014 to 2016, killing thousands of people, mostly in Guinea-Conakry and DR Congo, has found its way back. The contagious disease is deadlier than the current global coronavirus pandemic. As the world is faced with the coronavirus pandemic, the Gambia intends to revive structures in case it encounters the Ebola outbreak.
We understand that an outbreak occurred in Guinea, and not only the Gambia, almost most of the countries in the region currently have preparing themselves. And for the case of the Gambia, this is not the first time. It could be recalled some 5 years ago, about 5 years ago. Ebola actually broke out in West Africa, and the countries that were mostly affected were Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. And thank God, Gambia didn't report any case then.
When the disease first broke in West Africa, other sub-regions put stringent measures in place to prevent the virus infection. The Gambia's Deputy Director of Health Promotion, Sanjali Traveler, says the country is aware of the resurgence and are cautious of it.
And the plan is already there, because the plan we had during that time, it can still be revived. We can review it. So we already have the plan, and it can also be recalled during that time some of the health workers were trained, so we only need to refresh their memory just to retain them. So meaning that I think we had that opportunity during that time, so all the available resources we had during that time can just be reviewed and updated. So I think we still have that opportunity.
Although Gambia has never experienced the Ebola outbreak, but stringent and preventive guidelines were observed. People were compelled to observe personal hygiene in public places, such as frequent washing of hands, avoiding close physical contact with people showing symptoms of the disease, among others. The 2014 to 2016 Ebola outbreak in West Africa began in a rural setting of Guinea and spread across the country within weeks, and later became a global epidemic. The outbreak ended with more than 28,600 cases and 11,325 deaths. The resurgence of the disease found Guinea battling with the COVID-19 pandemic, but response measures have been initiated, and the World Health Organization is supporting the country with vaccines to contain its spread. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Now, the National Youth President of the Gambia Democratic Congress, MC Cham Jr., has welcomed the decision of some political party leaders that traveled to Nigeria to continue negotiations to revive the draft constitution. The leaders of the various political parties, including the UDP and the GDC, on Monday arrived in Abuja to meet Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who is the chief negotiator in finding a common solution. Fatimata Kasim has the rest of that story.
When the news emerged that some political party leaders are in Nigeria for draft constitution talks, cross-sections of Gambians used their different social media platforms to express their disappointment to this move. Many called the move as a waste of resources, while others described it as a shame that the country's fate is being discussed in a foreign land. However, MC Cham of GDC said there is nothing wrong with the initiative, arguing that this is not the first time the country's matters are being discussed or settled in foreign countries.
Because in politics you have two things. You have the internal and external. The internal committee need to support you. If they invite you and you don't go, that means that you are not having the interest of this country. So this is about the Gambia. It's not about the political parties. They are our leaders. But they should go and listen to this guy. If they can make agreement fine. If they can make agreement, let them come back and be the press and discuss that this was our positions. But for me, I think it's a good move. We have been making agreements. We have been economic in this country. The agreement was made in Nigeria. When Jammeh was saying that he don't want to leave this country, we see ex-president come to the Gambia to make negotiations so that he can leave this country peacefully. We have been a lot of agreements have been signed outside this country. So, and Gambia, we need everybody. We need our neighbors. It's not about we can all do our things without support for other countries.
The GDC national president is not expecting a positive outcome in Abuja as political leaders met the former Nigerian president Goodluck Jonathan. He said traveling to Nigeria doesn't indicate that there will be an agreement after initial negotiation failed in the Gambia.
Because I was part of the GDC team when Jonathan was here, and I have a lot of discussion with other political parties. I know their positions, and I know that at the end of the day we are not going to have a new constitution.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, because some people they say that they need this draft constitution without any amendment. Some say that they can compromise. We can make a lot of changes from there. We just pass it to the parliament so that we can go for referendum. Some say no. So at the end of the day, that means that we can have dialogue.
What is GDC's take?
Our position, we need to compromise. We need to have a new constitution. We need to go to referendum. We need to give Gambia a new constitution because we have spent almost 160 million for this draft constitution. At the end of the day, that money can be even used at the hospitals or other areas. So for GDC positions, we support the draft constitution. That's why we say that let's compromise some of these sections of the provisions.
Goodluck Jonathan visited the Gambia twice to meet the country's President Adama Barrow, leaders of key political parties, National Assembly members, and civil society organizations. The move was meant to support the country's outgoing constitutional review process and facilitate the process of forging a workable national consensus. The several encounters in Banjul could not yield any positive outcome, prompting another in Abuja for consensus to save the seemingly dead draft constitution. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Mama Kande, the leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress and representatives of other political parties on Saturday, attended the National Congress of the APRC in solidarity with the former ruling party. The Congress availed the Green Party the opportunity to reminisce on the past and chart a way forward ahead of the forthcoming presidential elections. Binta Jallo has more.
Representatives of the different political parties, including the Gambia Democratic Congress Party, GDC, attended the APRC National Congress to show solidarity with the Green Party. Mama Kande, who was one-time member of the former ruling party, said their presence at the Congress was to show unity among the political parties. Kande also highlighted the significance of their attendance to the Congress.
Well, I will have to congratulate the APRC. I think everything was well organized, and this is nothing new in the APRC because it's a party that has been existing for more than 20 years. So they really know what they're doing, and I think I'm happy myself being here and seeing the way they organize things, and I'm congratulating them for the job well done. I mean, being from another political party does not mean that I'm not a Gambian. I'm a Gambian and we are all talking about the same Gambia. So it doesn't matter which party you come from, what matters here is the Gambia, and this is what matters for us all.
Almami Fandintal, the spokesperson of the United Democratic Party, UDP, says their attendance signifies the act of democracy and to foster unity among political parties.
It's a sign of a healthy democracy in the Gambia. Since 2016, we have had congresses where we invite each other to signify goodwill and good faith and our faith in the democratic change of government that happened since 2016. So it's a very, very significant day for Gambians.
Also speaking to iAfrica TV, Citizens Alliance and Gambia Action Party representatives underscored the essence of attending each other's events.
To be here to witness such a very, very important occasion. I mean, congresses is something that all parties are supposed to do. It's a mandatory occasion that all political parties are supposed to do, at least I think every 2 years. And it's very, very important that the political parties try to fulfill their obligations as parties. So we had our Congress and we extended an invitation to them and they were in attendance.
Well, the significance of that is that it is one Gambia. Regardless of how many political parties there are, at the end of the day, we're all working to create a better country for all of us. And we accepted the invitation and honor it by showing that we are in agreement that Gambia is bigger than all of us and that it's everybody's responsibility, regardless of political affiliation, to try to come together and work for the country.
Political parties are the guardians of democracy, as outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding signed in 2017 that seeks to govern their inter-party relations. The Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction Party held their 7th National Congress with a renewed commitment to sweep the December 4th presidential polls with a strong Back to State House campaign. Reporting for iAfrica TV, Binta Jallo.
Now, following Monday's testimony of 2 victims who alleged torture and unlawful detention from Jammeh's bulldozers, the alleged killer of Jammeh, Mr. Amadou Bojang, today appeared before the Truth Commission. He says Jammeh has disregard for the law. Khadijatu Seka has the rest of that story.
Captain Amadou Bojang narrates his unlawful arrest and detention to the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission on Tuesday. Mr. Bojang says he was made to surrender himself under arrest without reason. Bojang believes his arrest was unlawful. Jammeh does not respect the laws governing the country.
Firstly, our company commanders were not aware. The commandant was not aware. Sorry, the chief instructor was not aware. And also the commandant also was not aware. The chief of defense staff was not aware. And if the matter has to be treated at the commander-in-chief's level, I felt it was an overreaction.
But that statement, it was an overreaction, that is in fact an understatement. He violated the laws of this country.
Commissaire ay ko lande tambe kala wo mu kata fene de mian ko fan ay loi letinga lo sarol min lande abota wotol.
That is true.
In effect, you saying that our then president Yaya Jammeh did not respect the law.
Say kam fo wala nyinde ko to law president ko don Yaya Jammeh amon loi bunya.
That's true.
Mr. Bojang concurs with the late counsel that he was not versed in the laws and so there were many human rights violations in executing their duties as bulldozers.
You said you did not know the law. You definitely could not have implemented the law.
Personally, yes.
And you could not have supervised the proper implementation of the law. Because you did not know it. And you would agree with me that a lot of rights violations could have and perhaps indeed occurred simply because you did not know what the law was.
That's true.
Mr. Bojang says Ibrahim Keita and Musa Fofana were arrested in connection to an assassination plan on the then president.
The information I received. There were some Gambian dissidents who were in support of the then demonstration.
The demonstrations or the planned or envisaged demonstrations?
There was a demonstration prior to that. That was the Solo Sanden demonstration. And the subsequent UDP executive arrest also. After that, it was suggested that there is a plan, according to the information, there was a planned demonstration to that. But this demonstration was going to be supported by the military incursion. That would have been the ultimate assassination of the president.
The bulldozer comprises different security personnel of the Gambia Armed Forces. Since its inception, it has registered several human rights violations. It was believed that when people are refusing to talk to the defunct NIA, they were usually taken to the bulldozer complex for intimidation and torture. Reporting for African News, I am Khadijatu Seka.
Our Khadijatu Seka there reporting from the Truth Commission, and we will be back right after the break.
The Gambia may be the smallest country in Africa, but it will host the second largest gathering of world leaders in 2022. To successfully host the OIC Summit and put the Gambia on the global stage, the government of the Gambia set up OIC Gambia to mobilize resources for the implementation of key development and infrastructure projects on a scale never seen before. 20 new roads will be constructed across the country, and the Bertel Harding Highway will be expanded into a dual carriage highway of 2 lanes on each side from the airport to Sting Corner. All people in the Gambia deserve clean water and a constant flow of electricity. Therefore, an entirely new water system will be constructed, including new transmission and distribution networks to meet the increasing demand. In order to provide a more reliable supply of electricity, the OIC Gambia project will replace and double the capacity of the NAWEC transformers and overhead electric cables. We will equip the police with modern apparatus and technical training in an effort to keep the streets of the Gambia safe. By building the largest international conference center in the region, a 5-star hotel with state-of-the-art facilities, first-class mobility services, and improving the VVIP experience at the Banjul International Airport, OIC Gambia will position the Gambia as the leading conference destination in West Africa. With our partners in the tourism sector, we will reinforce the preeminent position of our nation, the Smiling Coast, as a go-to destination. The OIC Gambia will create strategic partnerships that calls for the involvement of local talent and businesses as a matter of requirement. In short, OIC Gambia projects will create jobs, boost commerce, accelerate growth, improve the urban outlook and lifestyles of many families across the Gambia. So let's support the OIC Gambia as it prepares us for one of the biggest global events. OIC Gambia, building today for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back after that break. Now, where President Joe Biden on Monday led Americans to observe a moment of silence to commemorate the many lives lost over the past years. Over 500,000 people died of the COVID-19 virus in the U.S., which President Biden described as truly heartbreaking moment. Details in this report.
The White House was lighted with hundreds of candles representing the lives of the people who were taken away by COVID. President Biden and the First Lady observed a moment of silence in honor of the COVID-19 victims. Joe Biden says the coronavirus causes pain and heartbreaking moment in the U.S.
I receive a small card in my pocket that I carry with me in my schedule. It shows the number of Americans who have been infected by or died from COVID-19. Today we mark a truly grim, heartbreaking milestone. 500,071 dead. That's more Americans who have died in 1 year in this pandemic than in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined.
America is one of the countries that has been hit hardest by the virus, and the country still continue to record new infections and deaths on a daily basis. President Biden also acknowledged that the mass death and lost lives will continue to be remembered. He says they shared the pain with all the affected people in this difficult moment.
We'll remember each person we've lost the lives they lived, the loved ones they left behind. We will get through this, I promise you. But my heart aches for those of you who are going through it right now. May God bless you all, particularly those who have lost someone. God bless you.
In recent weeks, COVID-19 infection rates have been reported to have dropped in the U.S. as the Biden administration widened its efforts to contain the virus with mass vaccination campaign to curtail the rapid spread of the virus. And remembering that, Mr. Biden renewed his call in the fight against the pandemic.
As a nation, we can't accept such a cruel fate. While we've been fighting this pandemic for so long, we have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow. We have to resist viewing each life as a statistic or a blur or on the news. As a nation, we cannot and we must not let this go on. That's why the day before my inauguration at the COVID-19 Memorial at the Reflecting Pool on the National Mall, I said, to heal, we must remember.
When the novel coronavirus was confirmed in the U.S., former President Donald Trump downplayed the threat of the virus, calling it a Chinese virus, and the need to enact strict public measures to cope its spread were mostly neglected, leading to its rapid surge in different parts in the country. Many Americans, including health experts, believed that the number of infections could have been averted if more seriousness were put in place by the ex-president Donald Trump. For African News, Sohna Tunkara.
The U.S. president there observing a moment of silence for the life lost over the year. We move on to the World Health Organization, where the Director General has shown displeasure with the way developed nations are undermining the fair distribution of the COVID-19 vaccines. Most of the rollout coronavirus medicines are purchased by high-income countries, leaving many other nations scrambling for doses to vaccinate their people.
According to the WHO, about 90 countries are currently administering COVID-19 vaccines. 57 of these are high-income countries and 33 are middle-income countries. Many developing countries, mainly in Africa, have been struggling to acquire the COVID-19 vaccines, which is largely attributed to developed nations undermining the COVID-19 vaccines global access initiative. The WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, is displeased that high-income countries are making contracts with vaccine manufacturers, which undermines the deals of COVAX.
If there are no vaccines to buy, money is irrelevant. Currently, some high-income countries are entering contracts with vaccine manufacturers that undermine the deals that COVAX has in place and reduce the number of doses COVAX can buy. Even if we have the funds, we can only deliver vaccines to poorer countries if high-income countries cooperate in respecting the deals COVAX has done and the new deals it's doing.
The Global Health Organization initiated COVAX to help coordinate international resources to enable equitable access of COVID-19 vaccines, diagnostics, and treatments. The WHO chief also calls for more collaboration in fight against the pandemic.
The G7 countries have shown leadership, but we need all countries to step up. We still face a gap of at least $22.9 billion to fully finance the ACT Accelerator this year.
Speaking through a video link, President Biden's chief medical advisor, Anthony Fauci, highlighted the need for equal distribution of the COVID-19 vaccines.
The challenge is that clearly we need to get vaccines produced and distributed in an equitable way, not only in the United States, because it is clear that each country must take care of their own, but also the equitable distribution, as mentioned by Dr. Tedros, of vaccines, so that we realize that this is a global pandemic requiring a global response.
Several vaccines against the virus have now been approved for use, either by individual countries or groups of countries, such as the European Union and the World Health Organization. Some countries have secured more vaccine doses than their population need, while other income countries are relying on the COVAX Vaccines Initiative, which is seek to ensure that everyone gets access to COVID-19 vaccines. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
To South Africa now, where the government's decision to ban alcohol business has adversely impacted on the industry, as thousands of employees lost their jobs. The move is part of efforts to contain the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, but it has also triggered revenue deficit for the government. The alcohol industry contributes over 1% of the country's GDP. Details in this report.
The report estimates that there have been 200,000 job losses in the alcohol industry, but it's also about the duties lost to the government coffers.
There's around 87 billion that's estimated to have lost just on your excise duties alone. So considering South Africa's current fiscal situation, that is important revenue that can really be ill afforded to have been gone. Overall, sales down from around 2019 for the 2020 period is down 17%. And, of the sectors that have been hit the hardest, it's the beer and the wine sectors, which plays an important role in our tourism economy as well.
The alcohol sector is counting the cost of sales and export bans, no more so than the wine sector, which supports 269,000 people and contributes 1.1% to the country's GDP.
As a direct result of these alcohol bans, domestic wine sales were down by 20% in volume. And additionally, the 5-week export ban resulted in 300 million litres of uncontracted wine within 640 million litres of stock, at a time when the industry had commenced with the 2021 harvest. Created a stock dilemma.
The beer industry has also been severely affected.
And with beer sales having declined by 195 million litres, and a large proportion, as you can imagine, having to be dumped. And this is also, with the dumping, you also have to pay SARS to actually dump your alcohol that has expired.
The craft beer brewing sector has also felt the effects of government measures, with small business debt levels skyrocketing.
A lot of people had IDC loans, and IDC has been calling on now the loan repayments. And I think that, it is really disappointing because a lot of these are government branches, and you would think that they would be a little bit more sensitive to the plight of the industry.
Perhaps as concerning are the long-term impacts on the wine export ban.
Our South African wine producers have to fight quite hard with our overseas counterparts to get that valuable shelf space in overseas markets, etc. So that will take many, many years, and estimates up to around a decade to rectify the impact.
It's uncertain how long it's going to take for the alcohol sector to recover from the curfews, the alcohol bans, and the different lockdown levels. What's of more concern, though, is what's going to happen to the value chains leading into those different subsectors.
Now, Tunisian health experts have confirmed the first casualty of the new COVID-19 variant as authorities intensify efforts to contain the spread of the virus. As the North African country continues to witness more infections, authorities have warned citizens against complacency. More in this report.
A team of Tunisian researchers conducted genome sequence analysis and detected the new local variant that was found in a patient admitted at the Munjislim hospital. Researchers at the health department are keen to determine how the novel coronavirus has evolved.
We detected one mutation which is common on some of the variants that exist now in Britain, in Brazil, in South Africa. And this is one mutation, but with other mutations that are new, that did not exist in the variants in Europe and other places in the world.
Some experts at the Pasteur Institute in Tunis have warned about the highly transmissible new COVID variants and the danger they could pose through vaccine resistance.
Now, the hypothesis that the variant could escape immune response exists, so we have to do investigation in vitro in the laboratory in order to check if the antibodies that are developed after vaccination are effective against the new variant. This should be done.
Tunisia's Ministry of Health says public hospitals and private clinics are struggling to cope with a quick rise in the number of COVID-19 cases.
We've recorded serious shortages in intensive care beds despite the efforts made to increase their number. ICU beds in public hospitals are about 90% full as COVID-19 cases surge.
According to the National Observatory of New and Emerging Diseases, an asymptomatic patient aged 17 who carries the new strain was admitted to hospital. The COVID-19 Advisory Board at the Health Department has revealed that the first screening results have not shown any severity of the new variant, either in terms of symptoms or speed of spread. Health authorities have urged citizens to strictly observe preventive measures.
With that, we come to the end of this news bulletin of the world today. On behalf of the entire production team, have a pleasant evening and thank you for watching.
Pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Like other education or specialized training institutes in the Gambia, SNS Institute of Creative Design offers opportunities to fashion designers without prior training or certificates, shaping the next generation of fashion designers creating timeless designs by sketching out, creating, and merchandising clothing items and accessories. Fashion design graduates can go on to find employment in different institutions that are looking for designers. Graduates who wish to start their own business also stand a better chance of doing so with specialized training and certification. This institution does not just train and certify fashion designers, but offers career guidance, including job application and interview preparation to its graduates. Are you one of those who believe that taking the back way is the only way to success? Head over to wakawell.info/Gambia to find out more about safe migration procedures and local opportunities for education, employment, and entrepreneurship in the Gambia.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, APRC, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any APRC customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual APRC SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by APRC. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where APRC goes, nobody dares to follow.